to God for giving us the staying power to have been able to complete this long marathon in a record time. When you listen to His Excellency, the Vice President, you will know that Sierra Leone achieved the compact grant in the shortest period ever, because usually it takes a long time to develop a compact. Because of the experiences of others with whom he conferred after we had been selected compact eligible, it made his approach and our approach to be a lot easier by avoiding the pitfalls which are sort of delayed others. But first, we have to congratulate His Excellency, President Dr. Julius Maada Bio, for his leadership in guiding this process through. But the MCC itself is a culmination of the acceptability of all of the governance initiatives and approaches to governance that the government has been putting in place, led by His Excellency the President. You know that the indicators of the MCC scorecard harbor on how a government handles so many other things within the country, particularly the welfare of the people, the voice of the people, the democracy of the people, and also the human rights of the people. When all this put together on average, you get a pass mark. It means that for the past 6 years, Excellency President Julius Maada Bio's government has been doing well on all the indicators. And that is why today the government has been rewarded by this huge prize, I would say, that has been given to us. So it means a lot to the people of Sierra Leone. In your introduction, you said that the MCC will benefit about 4 million people in Sierra Leone to access electricity. It means with the 30% already that we have, another 50% adding on top of that.
Corruption and investing in its people, Alpha Khan.
Thank you. I just told you about the various indicators that determine a country's eligibility to be selected for a threshold or even a compact. And among those indicators are the control of corruption, which in itself is a sine qua non condition to pass any scorecard. Yes, you just mentioned it, so I'm taking it step by step.
Good.
Right? The corruption, anti-corruption, the anti-corruption initiatives the government has put in place have been recognized, and we have seen how that has changed this landscape of accountability in the country. And for the government to have passed consistently since 2018 to today, well, 2024 hasn't come out yet, but up to 2023, we have seen that the control of corruption has always been given Sierra Leone a pass mark. And that in itself is what you would call, like I said earlier, it's a sine qua non. If you don't pass that, you can pass all of the other indicators, you won't make it. It's a veto. The Excellency passed that, the government passed that. And then investing in people. Investing in people starts with investing in education. Investing in people continues with investing in agriculture so that people can feed themselves. Investing in people is looking at how you can improve energy access to the majority of the population so that everybody will have the ability to be able to use energy for either domestic use, industrial use, or some kind of development. So we say it is a condition also. And we have seen that the government has done well in this. They would not have given us a compact eligibility if we were not fit for purpose. Because I don't think we have any special favors from the Americans. So I believe that that sustainability on the democratic issue, We don't have a problem with that. I have sat here several times over. I think it was misunderstandings right at the beginning that our elections that had just passed in 2023 were not transparent. But 1 year today, no evidence has come out that the elections have not been transparent. It's just a case of opinion from different quarters. So for me, I think the condition that we should maintain and sustain our commitment to democracy is already a given. So if that is the condition for us to continue on the compact,
because that's the case, Dr. Kanu. These benchmarks are benchmarks that we should continue all throughout the lifetime of the MCC.
We know that we have a president who believes in democracy. How do I say that and why? This president, at a very early age, had the opportunity to be president for a long time. In 1996, he became a leader of the country. And within 3 months, he said, I actually overthrew my predecessor because there were indications from some quarters that some of us wanted to change our uniform into civilian clothes so that we will not have a civilian government. That is why I decided to do what I did. But within 3 months, I shall hold elections and I will hand over. And he did that. He was young, less than 30 years old at that time. So it shows you that from a very early age, he was already committed to the principles of democracy. And when that happened, he left the country. But when he came back to contest elections, he lost those elections democratically. He contested, he went to the courts. The court told him that you are late. You should have come in before the end of 7 days. And at the end of the day, he lost that. And he went back. He said, yes, I accept. He went to the then president and said, because of Sierra Leone, you're my president. And he walked away. That shows how democratic the man is. And now, when he became president in 2018, what did he do? He sent an olive branch. And it is that olive branch I am clutching to. He sent an olive branch to the opposition. He said, I called the leader of the opposition, Dr. Samura Kamara, to come with me and work. Samura Kamara did not catch the olive branch. I did. That's why I'm sitting here, and I have not regretted it. So it shows that he already has a legacy, an experience, and a commitment to democracy, and it's going to continue. If that is the condition for this compact to continue, I think we already passed the mark.
For the MCC to come to fusion, it seemed very clear that it is contingent on the opposition, because going further, it is also very clear that the expeditious implementation of the unity agreement and that of the recommendations in the tripartite committee are also part of, the benchmarks that should be met. How critical are the opposition, more so at this particular moment? Because they are party to these documents. They're the ones who sign these documents, together with the government. Alpha Khan.
I think if the opposition had any criticism of the award of the MCC to the government, they would have voiced it. Immediately after the elections, okay, some of their members were saying that we will go and oppose the MCC. But after discussions and dialogue and things like that, at the end of the day, the majority, including the leadership of the party, saw that whatever was happening, as far as the MCC was concerned, it's for Sierra Leone. So let's work together. So they have given it their tacit endorsement. For me, I don't see anything that will stop it through any opposition, which they have already demonstrated by supporting the endorsement of the MCC. So I don't think the opposition is a critical obstacle in this one. I think they are partners.
You seem very confident, Alpha Khan.
I am, because I know them. I've been there before. I was with them. And I know the kind of people I'm talking about. Their aim is also to see Sierra Leone develop, just that they have their own pathway. President Bio has another pathway, but at the end of the day, the goal is the same. We want to develop Sierra Leone. At the moment, President Bio, his own pathway is on what is called the pole position. He's ahead and will get there faster. That is why the country is with him.
I know this project will be executed under the supervision of the MCC, in as much as they have a hub within Sierra Leone. But the general populace is in a haste to see, these pointers that are placed within the MCC comes to fusion, as you already mentioned. Of course, it's also in into about 4 million Sierra Leoneans will have to benefit from same. And the essence of electricity in a country, is one that triggers development in every other sector. Alpha Kanu, how hopeful should Sierra Leoneans be at this particular moment?
Well, let me first of all tell our people the good news. The good news is that the source of electricity, the generation of electricity, already exists in the country, and moves are being made.
Sure.
Recently, we just launched a project to generate 150 megawatts. When you generate 150 megawatts, how do you get it to the homes of the people? The electricity is there. In Port Loko, we have a hydroelectric station that generates 2 megawatts. We only use 550 megawatts every day. So it means 1.5 megawatts, 550 kilowatts. Well, 1.5 megawatts goes to waste. So we have to turn off one of the turbines in order not to just generate electricity like that. We don't need it. Now, if you have transmission, that 1.5 megawatts, the 500 kilowatts would go to Lunsar. The 500 kilowatts will go to Lunge. The 500 kilowatts will also go to Cambia. So you'll find that in that vicinity, within the Port Loko district and parts of the Cambia district, Bankasuka hydroelectric is enough to give us the power we need. We have 2 megawatts in Port Loko. We're using 500 megawatts. We can't take it to Lunsar because there are no transmission lines. So these transmission lines are the ones that the MCC is going to focus on. And when you listen to His Excellency the Vice President's explanation of why this project was there, it is mainly to improve the transmission and distribution lines in the country, which means that when you generate electricity there, as we are planning in Moyamba and all that kind of thing, Bangwatuk and even Bont will have, if you have the lines to take it there. What we don't have is the transport. Now we have the CLSG, which has come. But the difficulty is getting it to the demanding and deserving populations. How do you take it? You need the highway, you need the access, you need the road, and the road is that transmission line. So the transmission lines are the ones that we are focusing on. Once we have enough transmission lines, I know we can generate enough electricity. In Port Loko right now, we have 2 megawatts of hydroelectric power. We have standby generators. Together they make up another 2 megawatts. So we have a totality of 4 megawatts. There's also 6 megawatts solar power that is already being developed in Port Loko. So by the time we finish, we have 10 megawatts in Port Loko. What do we do with it? It has to be transported. That is why the focus on transmission and distribution lines is excellent for us. It's good for the people of Sierra Leone. It will make the impact faster than people think.
I was just having a second perusal of this document, and I know how much of a haste most Sierra Leoneans are when it comes to politics. And as much as the document has been approved, in as much as the agreement has been approved, which I believe, as I mentioned earlier on, this approval, you've already alluded to Sim that this approval was not done without, the support of the opposition.
Of course, man.
Are we expecting a situation wherein the government will see the need to ensure the opposition are fully included in the execution of this of these agreements at this moment, Alpha Khan?
Before the MCC was granted, there was a structure that had been set up to overlook. The MCC is not new. I was the very first person that approached the MCC in 2007, in November, with a young man called Amadou Masali, and we discovered that. And by 2012, we had been accorded the eligibility of a compact. However, we lost it down the line. We dropped the baton for some reason or the other. We dropped the baton, and when the president, Julius Maada Bio, came in 2018, he hit the ground running. And when you listen to the vice president, he actually started by 2019 going to the Americas, going to the US, to talk to various institutions about how the necessity of Sierra Leone having this compact. And when this situation was realized, at some point with the good scores in the indicators and the scorecard, the government was given a threshold. So it shows that there was a structure. And then they set up an MCC management committee, or whatever it was, in which the vice president was the chair at that time. And as it went on, they developed to a point where the Americans noticed that we have the capacity in country to do that. So they agreed to partner with us. I think they sent some people to work with them in the MCC Compact Development Program. And that shows that there's a structure. That structure is a government structure. That structure is a U.S. State Department structure under the MCC. So it's been set up already. It's made up of people who are capable. It is not a political institution. It's an institution for development. It's an institution for improving electricity and energy. That's been set up. So whoever is in there are there because they are capable of doing what is necessary to improve that. If at some point a member of the opposition proves to be a person that can add value to that, I am sure President Bio will not shy away from asking them to join, because he's a man who throws the olive branch all the time. He wants all of us to work together in developing Sierra Leone. So this MCC in itself was anchored on the tripartite negotiations and all that kind of thing. The MCC board is happy with the agreement that we came out with. The MCC board is happy with the implementation of some of the recommendations that are going on. And that is why they have progressed into signing the MCC compact, and allocating the funds will follow. So the structure is there. The structure is apolitical, and that structure is for Sierra Leone. If somebody can head it, can be there because of their capacity and all that, then of course they will be there. I know that.
We've had a couple of messages on our Facebook page. This one is from Ambassador Cherno Moseo, says President Bio made a commendable decision in appointing Honorable Alpha Kanu as his presidential spokesman. Honorable Kanu's extensive experience in addressing key national issues and his in-depth understanding of the political landscape makes him a highly qualified candidate for this role. His ability to communicate effectively and navigate complex and national dialogues will undoubtedly serve the admiration well. Furthermore, the updates on the Millennium Challenge Cooperation MCC Compact is progressing as planned, reflecting the government's commitment to ensuring that key developmental initiatives are successfully implemented. The collaboration with MCC underscores the administration's focus on fostering growth and improving infrastructure to benefit the people of Sierra Leone. Overall, these developments signals a strong and capable leadership, teamwork towards national progress. Alpha Kamara says, please ask Dr. Alpha Kanu if Mile 91 will be included in the MCC grants, because Mile 91 is one of the fastest growing town in the north. Without electricity supply chain is a punishment for us. Victor Calon says, let's come together to build a better Mama Salon. We all need sustainable energy in Sierra Leone. General Jar says, we are proud of you, sir. And this one from Mosdi is not clear. Just respond to these messages as we see the need to wrap up this segment.
Well, thank you very much. Chairman Mosire, thanks for the recognition and appreciation. Yes, the MCC is progressing as planned, and I don't see any obstacles in the pathway. For Alpha Kamara, for Mile 91, you are exactly the communities for which this MCC had been brought in, those who are underserved. It's scandalous, actually, for Mile 91 to be part of Tonkolili district, where Bumbuna Hydroelectric is providing electricity for most of the western area and parts of Makeni and Bumbuna itself. And Mile 91 doesn't have. The reason is that there are no transmission lines from Bumbuna to Mile 91. So here, the question is, when the transmission lines are expanded and extended, I am sure they will reach Mile 91. You already have the source of electricity. Bumbuna is producing 50 megawatts now, but I've been told that there is a possibility for another turbine to be introduced, or 2 turbines, to be introduced where the tunnels already exist that will increase the production to 100 megawatts or maybe even 150 megawatts without starting a new project. So like I said, the sources of generation are already in country. It is how we distribute it to deserving people, to the communities that are underserved, that matters. And that is why His Excellency the President and his government have focused on energy access through improving transmission and distribution lines, as well as the governance of the sector, so that it will be transparently and effectively managed for our people. So yes, Mr. Alpha Kamara, Mile 91 will be considered, I am sure, and you are on the highway between the north and the south. So you lead into Bo and lead into Makeni, lead into Magwaka, and from Mashaka. You are right in the middle of the country. I am sure you will have access to electricity by the time the movement of things is done. General Jha, well, yours is a complimentary thing, so thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Alpha Kanu, for your time this morning in the studios. It's been a pleasure having you here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.